Hi guys, how are you? Type A here. Today I want to show you how you guys can make this sound. It's very simple. And with a bit of processing, I want to how you can turn this into this sound. Okay, so the main idea to make this sound is to take advantage of Harmor and like additive synthesis. And let me show what I want to like teach you guys with a new Harmor patch. Let me open a new default. Let me roll this to a different channel. And like to make any reese-based sounds, people basically use two sawtooth waveforms, and they detune one against the other, and you have like due to the phase cancellation, you have the beating sound, and that's easily done here in Hammer by using the unison, engaging two voices, and if you turn down the panning of the two voices, you get instantly the beating sound. Oh, another thing that I like to start, like messing around once I have this setup, is to set the phase to 0, so each voice triggers at the same time. Like there's no phase difference. The cool part that you basically can only do with Harmor is to go to the harmonic unison pitch, and once you have this, you have this graph, and it's basically a representation of all the pitch variation for all your individual voices across the spectrum. So this region right here will be the low frequencies, mid frequencies, and high frequencies. And like with any traditional synthesizer, to get pitch variation in a specific region, like if you want to remove like the pitch difference due to the phase cancellation and the beating in the highs and the lows, and keep it only in the mid frequencies, in another synthesizer that will be like a bit difficult to do it. But in Harmor it's really simple. You can basically do that with this graph over here. And to illustrate that, I just want to remove the difference here in the low frequencies, and now you only have it in the mid and high frequencies. And to make it like more evident, transparent, I'm going to remove all the difference in the high frequency. So now it sounds like this, and you can hear the difference as soon as I start moving the stuff. And to me, this is really cool because you get this based on the same principle of the two detune waveforms. You get a squelchy, reese bass sound that it reacts different with different distortion and different stuff that you can do to process it. And maybe you can make it some of the high frequency pitch differentiation bleed. But I pretty much like to use it this way. The one I show you at the beginning is pretty similar. It's like something like this. I always get good results using shapes like this in the harmonic unison pitch. Once I have this in, you can pretty much distort it. And the other thing I like to do is to place the chorus before the distortion, so the duplicated voices make for a more ripple effect in the reese. So let me put the chorus before the distortion here in the advanced tab, and let me look for one of the presets like this. Now I can compress it with the warming here. get a really fat, squelchy, reese based sound just using Harmor. And what I did with the other bass was, like to add the traditional processing when people are making these types of sounds. I mean, using like EQ modulation with the other bass sound. And like the processing is contained within this patcher over here. It's really simple. I'm pretty really influenced by the way Seamless do his bass sound because I learned by watching his videos. And I'm just using this 3D envelope controller to I'm controlling here these several EQ bands in this EQ, the delay in the chorus, a really small amount, and I think over here, let me see, that's the only thing I'm setting up with this 3D envelope controller. A lot of the movement in the sound came from turning one of the frequencies, one of the bands in this EQ into a band pass, and the other two into notches. I mean, a two band stop here. You set you go like to a specific band, you press right click and choose the type. Sorry, and if you set it to band stop, it will create basically a notch in the EQ. And if you want to use this controller to modulate in specific ranges, you just basically insert one here, you set for the envelope controller, and you right click and outputs, controllers, and you have A articulators to have modulation X and modulation Y to control parameters inside patcher or whatever. And that's pretty cool. And what I'm doing is basically start using EQ modulation to add movement, then distorting it, adding chorus to create more pitch variation in the sound, flanger, all sorts of weird shit. But with this set in mind that EQing, distorting, creating pitch variation, then distorting a bit again, EQing. And it's pretty much you can do it until you like the sound. And that's really all there is to it, nothing more than that. And at the end of the channel, I always like to use a multi-band compressor to make the sound stand out. And I'm trying to keep it like all pretty much FL Studio built-in stuff, but you can of course throw your own VST plugins like do multi-band distortion or whatever. And I think it sounds like really cool. Especially this part over here. The automation is really sharp, and you get like this dubstepy bass sounds with like rhythm or something like that. So yeah, making reese basses with Harmor is always interesting because like moving 2 or 3 parameters in the different graph editors, and like the same boring old concept of 2D tune waveform, you always get different results. Or at least like different starting points, so you can after add your own processing. And I think that's really, really cool. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, guys. I'm going to make this FL Studio project available for download if you want to get these presets or have a closer look at how everything is made. And yeah, peace.